his strongest maps.
There's a good chance it will be banned. That's where we might see it. But again, the Rex are, like you said, very dominant on this map. There are only a couple heroes who really have a reasonable matchup into him in that top lane. So having that top lane control can be good. Have a double soak can be quite important here as well. It's not a safe rotation, but it can be a very lucrative one due to the sheer amount of pressure that is put onto bot lane due to the fact that it has a triple mercenary camp potential.
Makes sense. What we will have to see is right out the gate, they're going to get rid of that Cassia. This is one of the maps that she really shines on. Obviously, recently nerfed, not as dominant as she was early on. So still, again, great map for her. Lots of team fight potential where she excels. So get her out of here.
Exactly, that bottom area, especially around that shrine. For the same reason Hanzo used to be so good there, the very grouped up fights on that moon shrine is where Cassia can really start to dominate due to everyone being grouped up for that level 1 talent. So being able to avoid that is important. Garrosh good for similar reasons, and as predicted, there goes the Rexar. But yeah, Garrosh really can catch people out on this map. There's a lot of rotations that go very close to the gates due to the lane not being that wide. It's usually quite close together. The gates themselves are quite close together, meaning you're a little bit in danger of Garrosh throwing you at all times.
Hey, he's just definitely one of the best tanks just in the world right now. Every single region has opted for, you know, like Garrosh, he's so strong, just the ability to displace your enemy and displace your team too. You know, there's always the joke that your support is a support, not a miracle worker, and they can't fix stupid. Garrosh is one of the few heroes who can fix stupid.
Yeah, you can cleanse the stun, but you can't cleanse the feed. So we're going to be seeing Chromie coming in here. That's going to be good poke. It also denies it from the Ana composition. But that does leave Li Ming still available, or even Jaina or Orphea as potential Nano Boost targets. Lunara going to be picked very early. Ana, of course, isn't amazing into Lunara until she gets that active reload, but it allows the rest of the team to play something with a little bit more self-sustain to play around that. It's a risky early pick, as we do see the Urel coming in.
Urel is one of the best offlanes right now. Dauntless was changed, so it is only 35 armor now, as opposed to 40 armor that she was getting. We're going to see that ETC come in as well. ETC had an incredibly strong tank with the new Encore. You hit 5 players with 2 of your what is it? The face melts. You can put it on a 40-second cooldown basically indefinitely. So like Moss put on a 40-second cooldown. Look out. We're going to see that Li Ming banned away. Of course, a classic, the Ana Li Ming ETC slide into nano into combo, and you're dead. It doesn't matter who you are, you know, just Kevin voice, you're dead.
You're dead. We see, like you say, that Li Ming taken away. There's still Jada, there's still Orphea, there's still those potential pickups that will synergize well with the Ana. I'm very surprised none of them were picked up, but they seem pretty comfortable on no matter what they get. There's the Stukov banned out. Stukov, Deckard, Ana are currently the top supports. Malfurion hovering just behind them. At the higher levels of play, he jumps a little bit further up because he's really good. But that Stukov ban's out, going to make it a little bit harder to get around the ETC, because both Flaming Swipe and Massive Shove are good ways to deal with that mosh pit.
Moving on, we are going to see Blaze and Rehgar picked up here. Blaze, Rehgar, Lunara. Do we see Bloodlust? It was nerfed. So everyone, we've kind of seen from like Bloodlust must pick to sometimes pick. With the Chromie, you know, we could go for the bronze talents. I'm just saying it could happen. Most of the time I'm wrong, but fingers crossed we get some Bloodlust action here.
Nice, there we go. The Phoenix and Orphea coming in. We wanted heroes with self-sustain. Orphea, consistent self-heals using her trait. And Phoenix, that regenerating shield, is a great way to deal with Lunara. This is an incredibly well-reacted draft. And Orphea, of course, is a fantastic nano boost target. Phoenix less so, but I mean, if they really want memes, there's nano boost Planet Cracker, but that's unlikely because it's Planet Cracker. And finally, final pickup for the side of Naughty Otters, it is going to be the Malthael. Going to try and use that to bully out that Urel. Very sensible pickup here. It's one of the few heroes who can actually lane relatively well into the URL if you're able to dodge the jump, getting that cold's embrace, I think it is. Sorry, Die Alone is the talent that will allow him to actually outlane URL once they hit level 4.
So, I'm not at 100% up to date on EU meta. Is Blaze a standard main tank? We don't typically see that in an 8. Okay. All right. Excellent. So this is fresh and new for all of us. Very exciting.
Yeah, it's popped up every now and again.
Mhm.
It has been used, especially this is more than likely going to be a combustion blaze, if I had to guess, just due to
Mhm.
sheer damage output that they can get from that. It's definitely not common. It can be played and has been played in the past, though.
I think it'll offer a lot, and I'm trying to think if there's any reason that we could potentially see a bunker here, but I think you are right, Tetcher. It's most likely going to be that combustion. The slow is pretty gosh darn good, especially once you get to level 20. So we're gonna hop in here over on the right-hand side, or excuse me, left-hand side. I always do that. Dyslexia is a thing, man. Over on the left-hand side, we have Karis on that Blaze, Lordmon on that Lunara. I'm gonna butcher this so bad. I'm so sorry, friend. Is that Dronosi? Dryonosi?
I think it's
On
Drygoniossi.
Drago Neosi on that Malthael. We got a nice simple one in Milla on the Chromie, and Twisties will be your Rhaegar.
And they are the Naughty Otters. As for RossPierDoll on the other side, we're going to have Matiso going to be playing the Ana. Another name that's going to be a pain in the ass to pronounce, Makotzel, I think, on the ETC. Currently waiting to try and maybe get Drygo, but he rotates around. We have Aether going to be playing on the Rel immediate jump with BD Bibsyuk going to come in for the attempted gank to try and set up that first blood kill. The Fear the Reaper says goodbye. Drygo gets out. And finally, last hero we have yet to introduce, it is going to be Bronek. Going to be playing on that Orphea.
It's a good name. I like that name. So coming here, looking at some of these talents, we do have the new habits here from Blaze, and actually pointed out by Rob Harris in the chat, you know, you can unstoppable charge Moss, so it makes a lot of sense to pick that up. We're gonna go for that. Once again, the first time getting Chromie, that extra echo already got 4 stacks on that Sand Blast quest. Again, once she gets to 40, 2 echoes, and then I think they also auto attack? Or is that later?
I believe so. No, it just increases the echoes.
Okay, so that must be later, or it might just be something that they do now. I am not familiar with the new Chromie. Just play Arthas, gosh darn it.
Chromie is just chilling for the moment in mid lane, hanging out. As we do see the shrines activating, mercenaries being traded, but it is a bruiser making the most of that Rhaegar camp clear speed in exchange for a siege. But the siege is still being taken. Lordamon starting on that very early, again with the help of Twisty. Mila gonna rotate through. In the meantime, siege camp in bot lane is pushing up, while Karis is attempting to anchor, but he is about to be outnumbered and bullied, and with no one mid, that is a 2-minute Dragon Knight going over to RossPierre.
Lordmon gonna get a boot as they head out of the mid lane all the way back to base, practically. Gonna come back up. We do have level 4, so we will see Lunara with that Nature's Culling. Does not work against the Dragon Knight, unfortunately, since it does count as a hero. We will see it for those Chromie stacks, however, and they should just be able to burn this down fairly quickly. There it goes. 2-minute Dragon Knight, not necessarily the strongest objective in the start of the game.
1.5 turrets taken out. Karis again anchoring bot lane. They're kind of treating this game like they just have 2 solo laners, which is kind of what you could do with Blaze, so it does make a little bit of sense. Full lightning shield build for the Rhaegar as well. Really going to try and empower that Blaze and keep him rolling. For now, though, everything's calmed down a bit as we are seeing bot lane camp being taken. Camp-wise, this has been domination for Naughty Otters, and with them clearing the Dragon Knight that fast, that might work out in their favor, as we're finally seeing that bruiser matched as I miss a kill, gank in top lane. Aether's going to pick up the kill with the help of Orphea.
I would like to see a little bit more rotation come out of the side of Naughty Otters, just in the fact that you're right, Tetcher, they do have these dual off lanes. So, you know, why not send Lunara out? Why not send Chromie, go see where they're going on? Rehgar is a phenomenal ganker as well. A lot of people don't understand that. We are going to see Lunara jump up to the top to just grab this soak before Aether bullies him out of lane again. No one can stop this Yrel.
The Yrel really has been putting on quite the performance so far. Level 7 talents are going to be picked. We see Pinball Wizard. We do also see Loudspeakers, so we are going for the Burst style build. Makes a lot of sense. We aren't going to see the cooldown reduction, of course, though, because we will be going for Encore, which is just, at the moment, better. There's Time Trap. More stacks for Chromie. Up to 16 now on that once again for the first time.
Are going to see just a little bit of a ball break out here down in the bottom lane. Lunara and Rehgar heading back down. And this is what we wanted to see. They are rotating a little bit more now. Teams have level 7. We got that cleanse online, so that should help with some of these bigger team fights as we get closer and closer to level 10. Looking here, seeing if anything catches my eye as an unusual talent. We do have Divine Steed. Not typically what you see on Yrel, usually opting for that CDR. Meanwhile, Blaze going to go down the insane home of, I try to pronounce that name. Is that Bibzook?
Bibziuk, I think. It's a hard name, like you said.
Getting used to all these European names. It's definitely a learning curve, but nevertheless, going to do an amazing job on that Phoenix. Just try and pick up that ETC. Of course, with Succession, or excuse me, the Blaze with Succession there. And now, once again, our red team has channeled this altar.
Double stun coming out from Makotsi as they're attempting to get onto Twisties, but nice charge from Karis allows Twisties to stay alive. Interesting talents, though, you were talking about earlier. Choking Pollen coming in for Lunara. This may lead to the fact that they're almost certainly going for the Leaping Strike, because it's currently a little bit of stronger talent, but they're going for a burst follow-up to Temporal Loop here, where they Leaping Strike on the Temporal Loop and drop the Choking Pollen just before the leap to guarantee the burst damage. Very cool to see, very unique, but it is level 10 already hit for the side of RossPierDoll. As such, you can immediately see the retreats, just trying to hold that bot lane and try and recapture top lane. Coming in from the side of Naughty Otters. That is the Eternal Hunger to pick up the kill, but the counter is taken by Laudamon. It's not. It is going to be the Thornwood Vine, and it is Bloodlust picked up and Bunker. I just got all the talents wrong, just all game.
That is my life. It's good to be at least a little bit correct over here on the side of EU. I like the Thornwood Vine. I think it's going to provide a lot of necessary poke, as we are going to see Blaze go down to that poison damage from the Ana, actually, and then follow-up auto by Phoenix cleans it up. But lots of great poke, able to push out the ETC. One of the things that does work so well against ETC is if he can't engage with full health, considering he's such a small, squishy kind of tank without the armor, that if you can just poke him out, he can't really harass your team. He can't power slide in. That's only in and is only out.
Twisty is very far forward, gonna get zoned away. He will escape the Phoenix and will survive here with Laudamon zoning out the Yrel. They are able to reclaim top, but only temporarily as Yrel grabbing it back. Aether going to pick that up, which means we're going to see that double cap. Can ETC zone for his team? Mila, though, sieging in. One-man mosh onto Blaze. There's the cleanse, followed up by the bunker. And that's going to keep Karis alive and allow him to turn around. As in the meantime, Bibziuk, they almost didn't catch him, but they're able to get the interrupt and the double kill for Naughty Otters.
And now it is going to be Phoenix warping for his life over the wall. Well done. Out comes the oil, but it's not enough. Phoenix escapes with just an inkling of health. Aether still bullying the top lane down in the bottom. We are going to see Twisties and Lunara there rotate down. I don't know. I was going to say, it should be a Dragon Knight for the side of Naughty Otters, but Yrel Phoenix too darn good.
Gonna see camp being captured down below, picking that up. Laudamon and Karis grabbing that for the side of Naughty Otters, who are keeping themselves in this game. It's still very even in terms of experience. Kill count 3 to 4 right now, and they hold on to the Moonshrine, meaning we're not seeing that stolen away yet. Level 13, though, just slightly faster for RossPierDoll. And we see them pick up not Encore. It's mic check, cooldown reduction for peeling as opposed to ultimate cooldown reduction. We also see Rhaegar, by the way, not going for the Earthen Shield to synergize it with that. Oh my god, Temporal Loop, goodbye ETC. But we don't see him go for the Earthen Shields to help with the Burst Sustain. We instead see him going for the Tidal Waves for the quicker heals.
I really thought that this was going to be kind of one-sided in the side of RossPierDoll, but actually the poke, like I was saying, is coming out and doing so much work for the side of Naughty Otters. They can't seem to hold the points, but they can't seem to, you know, find the kills on the side of RossPierDoll. They're just poking consistently. Really smart pickup on the Thornwood Vine. The Sandblast build from Chromie is absolutely insane. And then when they're ready to finally go in and get the kill, pop Bloodlust, Lunara cleans up, easy peasy. So well done. I'm really blown away by how well Naughty Otters are playing this.
They even just baited out Nano Booster and Eternal Hunger coming in from the Orphea, using Blaze coming in and setting up the bunker, which is why they are running Blaze as this main tank here with bunker. Like you said, their poke is so good, so what they have here is a tank who can hard engage, but also one of the safest quote-unquote tanks in the game. Just the fact that he's a little ranged, he has slows, he has and the second unstoppable and bunker that acts as a pseudo unstoppable here. He is basically going to be able to survive almost anything that RossPierDoll throw at him, allowing his team to just keep sieging. It's very cool to see.
Really smart pickup. These are the kind of plays you see at the master level. We're going to see the stun come out onto Orphea. Mosh Pit connects onto Lunar, but instant Klez will put that to bed. Out comes the Eternal Hunger. Temporal Loop is good. Bunker has been also dropped. ETC blasted into Oblivion, and that is going to be the 1-for-0 going over to Naughty Otters.
The Bloodlust for movement speed boost to escape from the Orphea, who was chasing the salvo, not catching any slows. And as such, all able to survive the burst, wrap back round. And again, Karis setting up aggro onto themselves and then just dropping the bunker and waiting it out while the team gets the siege. Another interrupt from Aether on this Yrel, continuously denying this Dragon Knight over to the side of Naughty Otters. They will, however, grab a tower with their consistent siege.
It's just going to be the slow poke game coming out for the teams. Malvale should look to join up soon. They do have that last right, so hopefully looking to grab a stack onto that soon. Yrel coming out, getting a fantastic knockback. Immediately timeout coming out for Chromie. If Blaze is going to go down, nowhere to go, surrounded by 4. Chromie will pay the price as well, and Twisties can do nothing but walk away.
Finally able to find the angle. They were caught out without Rhaegar, who Twisties has been dropping some insane cleanses this game. And with the stun lock, they weren't able to medallion or had it on cooldown. Blaze did not have bunker off cooldown. It's just come up now. And as such, they were slain. The timeout only bought them a little bit of time, but that's a good double kill. Very well timed. They might be able to make it a triple as they look for Drago, but no, the turnaround with the gank, like you were talking about earlier. They make it happen. Bloodlust is popped. Could this be turned on, though, with the salvo? There goes Malvale. Twisties is low. Brodek, there's the grenade for the save. And down goes Lunara. One more. Twisties gets caught out with the bonus damage from Pinball Wizard. The cleanse only saved it from the stun, but not the burst damage that ETC followed up with, as finally the Dragon Knight's gonna go over to RossPierDoll.
Being a 12-minute Dragon Knight, this should get significantly more value this time around. And really just an amazing comeback there from RossPierDoll. What started out as being so strong looking of a team fight from the side of Naughty Otters, they just couldn't hang. Really great Ardent Defender there. The anti-heal grenade on the Ana, just incredible, saving Orphea's life there. Now they're gonna look to take down this bottom fort, see if they can't get a little bit more on this keep wall.
They begin to push forward, smashing their way through that tower. Dragon Knight already a little bit low, but they're still sieging. Karis, though, can see him on your screens right now, wrapping around with the Dragon Knight about to expire. Lunara's coming back in, Malvale coming from above. Are they going to try and make something happen? Brodek a little low. Looks like they might be trying to back out. They scout it with the healing dart, turn it around, sleep dart. And they're actually going to try and turn onto Karis here, but they can't catch him.
Temporal Loop onto Aether, however, though, going to get a huge stun out. Don't have that Ardent Defender for another 30 seconds, but the Divine Seed really just gonna get them the heck out of dodge. And now it's time for Naughty Otters to potentially try and make a play, as we're gonna see a skirmish over this siege camp here.
You can see Makotsi zoning out, able to keep anyone away there. Good anchoring with that bush. But in the meantime, Malthael has already pieced out to top lane. He's going to finally get some value up there, finishing off the last turret, giving his team a little boost in experience. Bib Zeuk starting on the bottom bruiser camp. Again, a little bit risky, but they have vision of everyone on the minion wave, and they have Makotsi doing some fantastic anchoring here, which he might turn into a play. Mosh Pit is being used. They get Lunara out, but Blaze is caught. There's the bunker though, but the salvo just eats Lunara.
Interesting time to bloodlust. There were 2 members caught in the mosh pit there, and like they were big and they looked really cool. Not a whole lot of value, as 3 members are going to be taken out, and now this keep, I fear, is not long for this world. With this bruiser camp, extra spell damage, it's just going to go down quickly. Nothing that the side of Naughty Otters can do, and that is constant catapults in the lane.
I don't even need the catapults here, as the bruiser camp will follow up with them for some spell damage. They're just trying to focus this down, although Ana is auto-attacking minions. They're going to try and take down the core here. Core stun onto Aether, but they're healed up. Matiso keeping it going. Eternal Hunger will not land. They're going to try and take out Malthael to buy them a staggered death. They get the kill. Twisties trying to zone the lane, but it's too late. That is game number 1. Going over to RossPierDoll.
I always forget when you're good at the game.
Playing Zeratul, and he was clearing out top lane on, at the time, Blackheart's Bay. That's how long ago this was.
Wow.
And this is what Dignitas hearing comes. Guys, I died. And they're like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. All good. And I used VP. What?
Oof.
Died solo and used VP, dying with it.
No.
Feels bad. And that's what we're seeing with Medallion these days, where people are like, I died. And I cleansed. And that's the sad thing we hear sometimes now.
It's still really new, and folks are still getting used to it. The amount of times I've been like, oh no, oh no, oh, and then like I remember I have it, and so like I'm looking for the 6 key on my keyboard because I never press 6, and I don't have the muscle memory. And then you either hit it after the CC, after you're like already dead, you're full of poison, or my favorite is when like you're body blocked by all 9 other players, and you'll see the cleanse go out, and I'm like, this isn't Ghost, friend. It doesn't make you incorporeal, and then you die, and then your 5-minute cooldown. We are going to get into this ban phase here immediately by Naughty Otters. Li Ming and Mei going to be taken out. And then Ana banned away. It was a pretty nasty Ana last game, so it makes sense that they don't want to play against it.
Yep, very reasonable. Keep it safe. Play around it. It empowers so many heroes. And there is a respect ban. Big oof. Chromie gonna be taken out.
Again, the poke, you don't want to deal with it, especially since Chromie can just ping from... Li Ming's already irritating because she can ping from the other side of the wall of those shaman camps. Are going to see the stab daddy picked up here, but Chromie can ping from like even further. Like she can stand by the well and still kill the immortal. What is that?
Yeah, we have the immortal cosplayer here of Imperius, and with no Chromie to worry about, he doesn't have to run a full marathon just to get to the backline due to that extra range. So that's cool to see. Although, interesting to note here again, it is Karis hovering that Imperius. He was the main tank last game, so we are likely seeing main tank Imperius again, unless they're planning on swapping, which we will have to pay attention to. But that leaves the ETC 100% available to RossPierre, and as such, they pick it up, along with race potential, the first race hero in this draft, the Raynor.
Raynor falls along the lines of Chromie, and just that they auto, but from a safe distance. Exterminator will be so great for the map. We're going to see Lunara come out once again, very early pick, and I think that's quite all right here. They don't want to get it banned away, which I definitely think that the Lunara may deserve a respect ban. We're going to see Twisties come out on the Tyrande. Now that I'm not necessarily sure about. That's a very early Tyrande.
It is. Again, it reveals a lot. It definitely shows their drafting style again, as we do have Imperius set up Tyrande follow-up. It's a classic combo, usually done with Diablo or ETC or Muradin. But in this case, Imperius going to fill that very well, as he gets He has the most ambiguous stun in the game, in the fact that the area of it is very deceitfully wide. So seeing that coming in makes a lot of sense with Tyrande, and we've already seen Lunara likes to go choking pollen. So the play here is going to be Spear into Lunar Flare, into the potentially, I think for the second time, Thornwood Vine, as this seems to be their style. Thornwood Vine followed up by choking pollen for maximum burst potential. Not maximum burst, that'd be a leaping strike, but for AoE burst.
Just going back to your comment about the Imperious stun, sometimes I believe that there's just like a Blizzard guy who's back there like timing, like deciding yes or no whether it stuns, because you're right, it is so ambiguous. It is sometimes like it goes out, like the full animation follows through, and then you'll watch your character shift back on to the spear and get stunned, and you're like, wait, what happened? That was like a second ago. And I like to believe that like the guy is taking a coffee break and he's like, oh shoot, sorry, clicks the stun, and you're like, well, so.
My favorite is when you somehow spear and pass through the enemy because you were standing too close. Imagine that in real combat, where you try to hit someone with a spear and just pass through them because they were too close to you in melee combat. Thanks, Blizzard. So we see Muradin and Cassia sneaking her way through the draft here. That is a very deadly setup, which is interesting because, again, we were looking at maybe Imperious as the main tank, but now with the Muradin picked up, this will likely be a swap with Muradin main tanking, Imperious off laning, who will have to lane against the, potentially, I saw in chat earlier, one-trick Yrel.
It did so well the first time. I thought for sure Yrel was going to be banned away, but they've opted for the Mei instead, which can understand. Mei is pretty strong right now. And clearly we do have two different ways of going about this map. Over here on the side of RossPierDoll, it looks more like a standard team fight comp. You know, you see this comp, you're like, okay, that's a BOE comp. Sorry, a race comp, not a team fight comp. I know my words. And then I thought we were going for race on the side of Naughty Otters. But with the Cassia Muradin, now I'm not so sure. I know that the Siege Bolt for Muradin at level 4 will increase the damage output that he can do to that Immortal, but that's your only engage, and you're spending it bonking the big lad. Cassia, not a great amount of race, but a great amount of team fight.
She has a lot of... There's two builds of Cassia, one that is viable everywhere else and one that might be viable here, and that is Q build. Q build doesn't offer the most race, but it offers long-range poke when you're up against a team that might bully you at the start. So, looks like we're going to be getting ready to head into the game. We're heading into the game, ladies and gentlemen. So, on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, currently 1-0 up. It is going to be RossPierDoll with Matiso on the Stukov. Makotzi, well, you can assume that's an I, on the ETC. BD Bibziuk going to be playing the Reina Bronek. Thank you for having a simple name, even though it's probably pronounced Bronek or something like that, on the Valor. And we have Aether going to be playing the Yrel in the top lane.
It's actually pronounced Steven, as we're going to see Drogue Neosi on that Imperious, which I'm sure that I am botching. Karis on that. Muradin, we did see the swap. Lordman once again on the Lunara. Twisties is going to be your Tehran. And Milla on that Cassia. Karis getting really bopped here. Almost goes down. Is able to hearth out, get the heal from Tyrande, and that's a really early tap at level 1.
It was. He got his Dwarf Toss denied by the face melt of Makotzi. There's the Lunar Flare. The follow-up is good. Just wait until they have Choking Pollen to follow up on that. Just how much burst they're going to have. Makotzi tries to dive, gets punished pretty hard. There's the stun. And we can finally have a look at these level 1s. No Q build for Cassia. Going for a bit more team fight. It is the charge strikes. Muradin with Dwarf Block wants to try and defend themselves against those Reina and Valor shots.
One thing I would like to point out, just while we're looking at talents here, Murad's Insight coming out from Yrel, not the Dauntless that we typically see. Everything else looking fairly standard. And then for Imperious, the Burn the Impure, trying to get through that thick front line of the side of RossPierDoll. So, a little bit different change up in play style, given the map and the comps, and I'm all about it.
Outplayed by the Wisp. The Yrel coming in thinking they could pick up a kill when the invade happened onto the camp, but the Wisp saw everything. They give up the camp very simply. Problem is, Imperius's wave clear ain't great, so only 2 minions are lost here. Yrel will make it in time for the rest. That could have been an advance being taken. T-Tors, EDC gets punished in the bot lane.
I can only imagine that it was just the Murd and Tyrande stun and then followed up by the insane amount of damage from the side of Cassia and Lunar there, which seems kind of like no dub. Like, you never know. Maybe he was trying to snipe the well as ETC and died to towers. So one thing I do know about this top lane here is that it comes down to really a skill matchup between Imperius and Yrel. It's never really, you know, this hero does this better than this one. And if this is a Yrel one trick, like chat has been saying, then I think our Imperius friend could be in for a rough lane.
Speaking of rough, Valor does actually need help to do this camp until she's fully stacked, so we will see reinforcements come in, but burning through most of the mana and health. Bronix going to port back to base to top up, and they try to time this camp a little bit later, but with the Wisp coming in and losing vision on everyone, Wisp and Owl double vision is going to be enough for them to see everything that's going on there. The camp's already capped though, so that's going to begin making its way up to top lane, which currently has 2 people in it. Mila not going to stick around to help clear the camp though.
Just gonna let Imperius. Uh-oh, Karis! Uh-oh, Karis! Oh, great stutter stepping. Bronick takes out Murden there. Race has begun, and it looks like it's just gonna see who can get there the fastest. Both teams incredibly even. Makes me wonder what Murden would be able to do there, as we do have that sledgehammer at level 4, which is 350 damage % increase to non-heroic units. Are just going to see the race out here. Imperius looking to step up, try and find ETC, but no such luck. Great disruption. That is going to be RossPierDoll taking the first immortal.
It will indeed. Stun comes out from Karis, getting up to 10 stacks on his Stormbolt. As the first immortal will be pushing in to the bottom lane. We see everyone rotating down there. Murden a little slower. He was seeing if he could spot some vision on the full rotation to see where everyone was. Unable to do so, so he makes his way back down to his team to help with the defense. Valor only on 1 stack of this puncturing arrow so far. Really going to be trying to look for stacks with this immortal tanking to keep attacking the fort for them.
Big slide from ETC could get her more. There we go. Fort wall is just going to be exploded. Here we most likely will see this fort come down. Yrel going to dive in, dip in, going in there, causing as much chaos as she can. And there's really nothing Naughty Otters can do here, as they're just kind of blown to bits.
They are zoned all the way back to their tier 2s. This immortal will even get a shot on the turret and a stun onto the gate, which does a little bit of damage too. A big old gang coming up to top lane, gonna force Drygo to back up behind the wall and fear for their life.
Up in top lane, just gonna keep, it's staying back, stay safe. Kills are really what the side of RossPierDoll are looking for right now, and there is no mobility on Imperius. He does a lot of damage, but he's not one of those heroes you can 1v5. So grabbing those globes best they can after losing both forts in the span of just 2 minutes. Really rough for Naughty Otters. It will get better as level 10 hits, but for now they're kind of struggling.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned as to their decision-making there, due to the fact that they decided, after seeing the entire team head up to top lane, they traded a fort for this camp. And this camp is going to die to Valor. That is not going to be value. They'll get the fountain, which is nice, but that is not solid value. That fort would have been much better if they'd actually sent the full rotation to defend that. They are going to try and pick up a kill on the rotation, but Lordamon is the one who ends up being punished. Matiso in trouble as there's a big dive. Good stun by Aether, saving Matiso with that hammer. Divine Steed is used and does nothing as they are able to pick up a kill.
Aether pulling an Iron Giant. I stay, you go, allowing their support to get out, understanding who was more valuable in that situation. Great medallion use by both of the players there. Not one of those yikes medallions like we were talking about just before the games. Are going to see lanes being cleared out here now, as with the Yrel going down. XP has evened out a little bit, and we should hopefully see level 10s here hit in but a moment. Really surprised nobody is sending anyone to soak the lane to get 10.
Seeing the Immortals taken out, it's a slight lead going over to RossPierDoll. But we do see the move up. They're going for the offensive play. Pierce does not land the stun. Twisties is here. Muradin hovering around, looking for his angle. Level 10 is just around the corner. They kind of need to engage before that level 10 hits to avoid a mosh pit. Or they have to wait for their own level 10s, in which case they have run out of time. They now have to wait for their own level 10s, as it is hit for the side of RossPierDoll, thanks to the split soak of Aether. Finally, we see 2 heroes heading down to bot lane. This only needed 1, and as such, immediate move on to the Immortal, which is going to be capped, and the camp will be stolen because they spend a bit too much time and a bit too many resources in that bot lane, allowing this freedom of map focus. There's level 10 here, but it's too late for Muradin, who's picked off good Valkyrie, but denied by the wall.
Great Rain of Vengeance coming out there. Aether taking so much damage. This camp will go over. Nice hammer to make sure that RossPierDoll claims this. And you can just feel the stress of Naughty Otters. They're starting to panic. They know they need to make these decisions, but they're just making them a couple of seconds too late, I fear. Or they see the engage. They see the opportunities to make something happen on the map, and then you can tell they're discussing it. They end up squandering it. So this is going to be another half-health shield. Aether diving in. Imperius dropping the Celestial Charge. Not going to connect onto anybody. Out comes the Hyperion. We do have that Thornwood Vine as level 10 is hit by both the teams here. And we could potentially see a keep. The shield hasn't even left the Immortal yet. We're 8 minutes into the game. And finally, half health on the keep. They get rid of that shield.
Beautifully executed stun into Mosh. The Lunar Flare came out, but a little bit too slow to save the life of Muradin. The keep is captured, and that's over half health left on the Immortal. They might try to end this. It's 9 seconds for Muradin. There's the charge. That could be what they need.
Aether not gonna go down. Ardent Defender is popped. Flailing Swipes also come out here. 82% on the core, 67 before the Immortal finally goes down. And now we see the engage coming out. Keep Corpse will save Raynor from falling through the clutches of Naughty Otters, who are looking for the chase. Now Shadowstalk comes out. Everybody's relatively healthy though. Great 4-man stun, but is Bronick out of the woods yet? Leaping Stride, no, Thornwood Vine. Lala has no mana. Medallion comes out. The Medallion to negate the damage. You hate to see it, but they managed to get out.
What an insane run there by Bronick. Able to Medallion, able to vault out of the stun of Tyrande. And also, that was the last of Bronick's mana to escape there. Just left that patience to escape. Very nicely done. They're able to get out of there, trading 1 for an entire keep, a fort, an ETC, a Muradin kill, and a solid 36% of the core. Sorry, I had to do caster math in my head there. As we do see the siege onto the top lane, trying to get some structure counter value.
Double checking the talents here. They do have that Nature's Calling, but once again, we see the side of Naughty Otters. You guys have the camp. You have the Lunara. Push with it. Everybody should come up and try and find something. They're spending so much time clearing and being reactive that RossPierDoll can basically do whatever they want. They can lose 9 heroes here. And I don't know that Naughty Otters would make the plays that they need to get back in this game.
The rush for level 13 to try and even up the talents, but of course, the move is made. They overextended as we see the come in. This time, Lunar Flare is good. Karis focusing onto Makonsi, who is pulled in by the Valkyrie. That is good. Makonsi, 46 health taken out. Aether focus out if they can keep him stunned. They deny the Ardent Defender, but it's not enough. Ardent Defender is popped, not enough of a chain. And that's going to be a single kill. Level 13, talents finally even up. And that was a good reaction there, coming in from the side of Naughty Otters, who took a fight, a talent down because they overextended a bit, but they made the most of it. But they're still in trouble with Drygo taking damage.
Thank you. It's what we're looking for. We're going to see another fight come out here. Rain of Vengeance is good. Going to hit 2 members on the backside. Celestial Charge does not connect. And that is going to be most of the resources, but the lives of RossPierDoll getting out. However, huge wave on the core here. We've got that Shaman camp. The Summoner is quite healthy. We're going to see Imperius go back. Not necessarily the choice that I would have made, but he is going to be able to get on top of these catapults. Shield is falling quickly, and right now, can the Molten Armor be enough? Yes. Just the dogs who are focused on the minion remain. And now Imperius is going to be able to get back in. Saves the percentage of the core. Shield was not lowered. And here we go. Naughty Otters, we want you to do well. Great stun, great capitalization on that Immortal. And that is going to be ETC going down. The chase is on. Lordman gonna go in. Great stun by Urel. Is gonna turn baby by that Sentinel of Tyrande. However, Immortal says, I've got you, fam. Aether gonna jump over the wall. Karis says, not today, friend. They don't have the Otter Defender for another 30 seconds, but Divine Steed is too good.
Good escape. Everything's sort of going well for Naughty Otters now with that extra holy further for the wave clear, allowing Imperius to rejoin the team. Like you said, very well played there. And they made the play onto ETC. The virulent reaction, though, shutting down Muradin from assisting with that kill. And that allowed everyone else to take a better retreat position. But finally an Immortal going over to Naughty Otters where they can start to try and make a full comeback. Level 16 is just under a full level away from RossPierre, though. So we do need some big XP numbers to materialize for Naughty Otters.
Well, it is going to finish that puncturing arrow quest there, and that is going to be a ton of damage coming out from her now. They'll have to be very careful on the side of Naughty Otters. Imperius is stuck back at the core. Immortal going down fast. We should see this fort finally fall. Now it's time for Naughty Otters to bail before things get scary. Just going to back up, reset, and that's exactly how they needed to play it. I don't know where they've been, but they're here now, and we love to see it. Camps are just going to be traded in the bottom and most likely, or the top and most likely the bottom here, as we can see Lunara heading down to take care of that. And maybe we'll see a later reverse style here from Naughty Otters, able to grab this bottom fort, kind of even up the map a little bit. However, great play. I love this by RossPierDoll. It doesn't even scout it out. The Tyrande Owl goes through the middle. Murden is here. Imperius is here. Flailing Swipe comes out. No level 16 just yet. There it is. Out comes that Valkyrie. Ardent Defender, ETC. Mosh is in the back. Team is fighting all over the battlefield. ETC managing to stay alive. Imperius managing to stay alive. One of those fights where everybody just hits the R button and ends up getting away. Camp is taken by the side of RossPierDoll, but quickly cleared out from Naughty Otters.
They're going to be able to clear that up. They're going to be able to survive with it. Owl harassment and damage reduction, meaning that there was a little bit more Impaler damage there, as they did get some extra focus, as level 16 is now hit for both teams. Yeah, the attempt there from RossPierDoll was to take the fight as they hit level 16, because the camp would give them 16, but they were never able to actually cap the camp before they hit 16, so they got it from passive XP, as we see the engage onto ETC and opt.
Just do what your enemy is doing, and Naughty Otters exactly that. Understanding what they need to do to get back in this. A bunch of cooldowns were used on the other camp fight here. Immortals have spawned, but the ultimate abilities, the heroic abilities of Naughty Otters are so much shorter cooldown than the side of RossPierDoll. They were able to use that to their advantage. They grabbed the camp, and now they have priority on the Immortal. However, somebody will have to go back because consistent catapults do add up, and they can't sacrifice any more of this core health.
They go for a little bit of race first. They're probably going to try and grab it during the halftime show, which they do win, but only by 1,000. That's not enough. That's not good. They might be able to just leave that camp, those cannons for a little bit, because minions are about to spawn, and that will give them some time. They've timed this actually relatively well to maybe prevent core damage. Valkyrie comes out, not landed. Drygo getting focus, stun one. There is the Shadow Stalker, as we see Mac trying to get onto that backline. Kara stunning him out, though. The Flaming Swipe may have saved them as Urel dives onto Cassia and picks up the kill.
Out comes the Ardent Defender. Kara's having to back out. Lordman very low on mana, not able to finish up with much more than a single Thornwood Vine. You were right, catapults were cleared out. I was super stressed there for a second, because I've done that, where it's like, it's fine. Minions will spawn, and then you lose 80% of your core, and you're like, oh, minions didn't spawn fast enough. ETC comes in, gets hit by that Celestial Charge. Spray coming out. John Cena BM A little bit of miscommunication there as Hammer and Slide come out at the same time, connecting onto nobody. It is going to be Vala on this bottom brace. Raynor is going to go and try and help it out. And once again, the Immortal going over to RossPierDoll. Lordman, solo on health, solo on mana. What are you doing here? They're getting the kill. That's what they're doing.
You saw the attempt come in, trying to kill off with Darmit using that spell damage that Yrel took at level 13 to pick up the kill. Imperius trying to hold back everyone else, though, and it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade. Owl just missing Bronick there. Could have maybe dropped him low enough that would force him to back out, but with the healing of Stukov already back in action. Low on mana, though. Going to be important to notice. We have a Seething Hatred and Gloom here, so no actual health regen at all for Bronick. Purely relying on Stukov.
Immortal is going to go down fairly quickly as we do have Cassia popping out those charge strikes, and then Lunara again with that level 4 Nature's Calling. Karis does have to use the Dorkoth to get away. They have completed their quest, so more value in stunning this Immortal now as we're seeing him chunk down. However, this is now a naked core on the side of Naughty Otters, and have they shown up a little too late to this game. They're going to get a clear out, but minions are good, and it looks like there isn't going to be any engage onto the core here from the side of RossPierDoll.
Two cats getting distracted. Might save them here as the Valkyrie comes in. They got Stukov this time. Makotzi is low. They get him with the armaments. Matiso, slowed hand of freedom. Might get him out. Good stun by Bronick. Matiso's dropping so low to Lordamon, but Lordamon is out of mana. There's the Owl. There's the Lunar Flare. And that makes it a double kill. Can they make it a triple? No, the controlled chaos. But Matiso, the poison. He's dunked on by Karis as Bronick is taken out too. That's 4 kills going over to Naughty Otters. They've got to make something happen with this.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Tetcher. Don't squander this. That catapult should be cleared out by the minions. There is another one coming, but now, oh, Yrel looking to help it along. Aether, the only one alive on the side of RossPierDoll. And please get this keep. Please, I have faith. I don't believe that Yrel has enough damage to really do a whole lot to the core, especially with such a high shield. I mean, the shield, I could be wrong. There's one catapult left. Shield is basically a second core health, but it is falling. And now we could see a base race. It's Aether and one catapult versus not the side of Naughty Otters. Guys, Yrel is not going to back out. Starts getting damage on the core. The minion wave is here. McCarthy stalling out the side of Naughty Otters. And is this how it ends?
The pawns are denied. Aether rushes it down. Catapult is killed and Aether leaves. Doesn't even fully commit to the core. Just forces the back out. Takes another 35% off the core. And they just go for the Immortal. They have the head start on the race. This is insane.
Aether with the Galaxy Brain plays. I was like, Yrel, what are you doing? You don't do damage. But she does enough. Gonna go in, clap 30% off of that core, and yeah, now they're really behind on the race on the side of Naughty Otters. And I feel like I have to clarify before Cat rips me a new one. Yrel doesn't do really siege damage, in my humble opinion.
The defender is used, knocking off the point. Controlled chaos. They get the cap. Controlled chaos again. Coming in from Matiso. Oh, the poison. Aether, he lives. Matiso again with the save. And Aether using that self-healing. But here comes some counter race. That's going to even up the Immortals. But the mosh pit is good. Taranda's gone. Drygo is slain. And Muradin trapped in the silence on the back. Aether escapes. It's a triple kill. Maybe about to be a quintuple kill. Looking for Lordamon. He's too fast, but the core is too low. The Immortal is irrelevant now.
This should be game. Naughty Otters having the chance, but just too little, too late. The whole team is here. That's Vala on the core. GG's being called by Twisties. And this will be your team versus Washed Up. Well done, RossPierDoll. The core hits 0. Lunara tries to get in when she can, but you can't 1v9 with 30%.